And I walked out of the house. They asked me, okay, counselor, what do you think? I said, we're not alone. You know, there's something out there.
From what I'd been hearing, Bobby's tape was something special. A piece of footage to rival some of the most famous bits of Bigfoot evidence in the world. The founder of the Bigfoot Field Researchers Organization, Matthew Moneymaker, one of the world's authorities on Bigfoot sightings, sure seemed to think it might potentially be important.
Usually these things are in fairly thick brush. They're in thick trees. It's a fairly rare circumstance, like what happened in Manitoba, that one would be at a place where it could be observed from a distance, thereby making it safe for the guy to pull out his camera, and the thing didn't have the impetus or need to run away immediately. That doesn't happen very often. Those are rare situations. It happened in Bluff Creek, it happened in Manitoba, but usually when people have confrontations, it's so thick that if you see one, it's so close to you, you're not thinking about, oh, I should get my camera. You're not thinking about it. You're thinking about, am I going to die?
People get information and form opinions very quickly nowadays, so if Bobby's footage was going to pass muster with the public, it was going to have to be pretty good. And no one, least of all Bobby, had any idea of what was to come of his video as it emerged into the world.
Bet you won't forget that. Lori host in the house. We got it. You want Lori host in the house. We gotta prove it. We'll do it. Lori host in the house. Competition gets cream. Lori host in the house. Cause we're the dream team.
The next day there was already CBC News. They were already there at the ferry taking footage. And then the next day we had Manitoba Hydro. They landed a helicopter there and they had 5 guys come out. They all had cameras and they jumped in the helicopter and up they went. You know.
I do the morning show from 7 a.m. to 12 noon. When I got there, the phone started ringing. There was a reporter that called from Washington.
We had several calls. There were several calls at that time from media outlets all over the country, basically.
We had calls from different radio stations throughout Canada, and actually I was getting calls at home from Florida.
The phone started ringing like crazy. Something about a Sasquatch.
Phone was ringing. I'd hang it up. The phone would ring again. I'd step one step away from the phone, it'd ring again.
Bob is not like to be in a spotlight, to be people around him too much. He's a very private individual.
They were trying to kind of steer clear of all the people that were calling because it was just a media circus for them.
So far, it was just small potatoes. Local media looking for a good story. But these things snowball quickly nowadays, and a regional report will make its way out into the world before you know it. Soon, a lot more attention would be turned on the little community of Norway House. Only days after the Norway House Sasquatch sighting, news reports of the event had made their way out of Manitoba. Bobby Clarke's video recording of the legendary beast had everyone in town abuzz. But how was the rest of the world going to react to the news? By bringing money to the table, some hoped.
As a community, we have an opportunity here. It's a once in a lifetime that we hear about this is the legend of the Bigfoot or the Sasquatch. Footprints here and there being seen. But to have a video of something, that is a Bigfoot or a Sasquatch, it is something that is very huge.
Since the early days of Sasquatch videos, they've been considered a surefire goldmine, particularly by the people who shot them. I'd always assumed that too, but it turns out this isn't the case, even with the most famous of them, the Patterson footage. Matthew Moneymaker told me the story.
Look at the precedents. If you want to know what's going to happen, look at what's happened before. Roger Patterson did make some money off it for a little while. They did these kind of private showings in theaters. He was eventually ripped off by some people that he was working with who went out. In other words, they went out and they started doing these showings and getting money for it and didn't give him any.
So if Patterson had never amassed anything close to a fortune from his video, how could Bobby Clarke? The best way for him to profit from the experience, he realized, would be to sell the footage to the highest bidder. But that would he'd need some help.
Bobby is married to a niece of mine, so that's how I got involved.
I don't know, I just wanted somebody to look after, I suppose, look after so I won't get jerked around or anything like that.
And so, Bobby Clarke enlisted the help of Councillor Langford Saunders and the Norway House Band Council to act as business representatives for his Bigfoot recording.
So he made an agreement. He was happy with the agreement.
Pretty well the band's looking after everything. We're going with the band lawyers and the band Langford's looking at
The community itself.
It's a partnership with the band.
But the community is the majority stakeholder on the tape.
But despite all the negotiating, Bobby claims he never actually signed anything.
I haven't signed any papers, no. I haven't signed any papers with anyone. That's what everybody wants, of course.
But, as Bobby's agreement with the band was being hashed out, a mysterious his appearance would turn the town, and indeed Bobby Clarke's life, nearly upside down.
I work at the diner on weekends, and there was a guy there, a reporter that was hanging around there for a whole week, and then he kept bothering us, do you know anything, do you know Bobby, can you take us where he lives?
The stranger's name was Brett Hudson, and he was a television producer from LA. He invited Bobby Clarke and Langford Saunders to his hotel room, where he was ready to negotiate for the right to use Bobby's Bigfoot footage.
Well, he said, well, I'm not going to videotape anything. All I want to do is view the tape, and I have to talk to my boss.
And then show him the footage.
View the tape, viewed it again.
And then that was it?
So we left the airport and drove down to my house, which is about 10 minutes from the hotel, 10, 15 minutes. Got a call that they're willing to make an offer. They wanted to use it, exclusive rights to it for a week. Promote it and then use it at one time. About 4 days after that, I got a call that I need to go to LA.
So Langford Saunders made his way south, and to finally see the precious video on state-of-the-art Hollywood equipment.
They're going to enhance the video, the work on it. My questions, like if it was a man, a human, or a moose or a bear, were answered at that time because I viewed the tape several times. I phoned Bob at that time and said we had something, there's something here. The news was, to him, was mixed. He was hoping it was a man, a hunter walking on the beach. That was his hope.
That it wasn't a moose or a bear. As he drew up his plans down in California, Norway House went about its business and waited to see what would happen next. The Norway House Bigfoot video had traveled from northern Manitoba to the entertainment epicenter of the world, Los Angeles, courtesy of TV producer Brett Hudson. Hudson was producing the segment for a popular news magazine program that had been airing since the mid-1980s.
When Current Affair announced that they were going to put a team to track down Bigfoot, and from there it just got wild. It was really wild.
Today, we'd like to announce our official search for Bigfoot. Our special team is already heading into the woods of Manitoba in search of Sasquatch.
Hudson's team of Bigfoot experts was carefully selected from the greater Los Angeles area. The first recruit for the mission was famed anomalist Dr. Franklin Rule. I didn't know what an anomalist was either, but it turns out that Dr. Rule is an expert in the strange and bizarre, perfect for a Bigfoot hunt.
I am a